Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So the channel members have spoken, and today we are doing part 3 of songs that were meant for other artists. And I love doing these videos because it's always just fun to imagine what could have been had another artist released the song. And you don't lose anything because you still do get whatever the official version of the song was. So as we watch along, or as you guys watch along, I won't be watching. As you guys watch along, make sure you let me know down below, do you think, the right person got the song? As in, do you prefer the version that we got in the studio version? Or, maybe would you have preferred to hear some of the demos or the other artists that were offered the song? And then, as always, the songs that are mentioned in these videos are linked down below in the description, and if the artist did happen to record a demo for the song, that is linked down below as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Who Says, Selena's 2011 self-confidence inspired single, was actually the song that inspired her to record When the Sun Goes Down, her third and final album with her band The Scene. The song was written by singer-songwriter Priscilla Renee, who is now known as Money Long. If she recorded a demo for the song, I can't find one. Not only is Who Says about self-confidence, Selena also wanted it to be an anti-bullying message to her fans, especially with the rise of social media. It was noted that within a couple years, several female pop stars had released self-confidence anthems. Examples include Katy Perry's Firework, Kesha's We Are Who We Are, and Lady Gaga's Born This Way. Who Says was used to promote Monte Carlo, a 2011 adventure rom-com starring Selena Gomez, Leighton Meester, and Katie Cassidy. In it, the girls take a graduation trip to Paris, and there Grace, played by Selena Gomez, is mistaken for a wealthy socialite to whom she bears an uncanny resemblance. Just recently, Selena revealed that she had to fight to get Who Says, as Disney had wanted to give it away to another artist. Selena said, "It's actually a funny story. I was working with Disney at the time, and they were actually giving the song to another artist, and I cried. I remember I was with my mom because I love the song so much. I basically said to my label, I feel like my fans are young and they need it. That's all I kept saying because I was 16 at the time. I was like, I think my fans really need it. Tell them my fans really need the song. And so maybe it just didn't work out with the other artist, but that was a gift to me that I did not know I needed." Selena didn't name who the other artist was. But considering this is probably around 2009-2010, it could have been Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, China Anne McClain, or even Bridget Mendler. Out of them, I don't know who I can see recording Who Says the most, and it's possible even that it wasn't for any of them. I think, honestly, I might have to pick Bridget Mendler, but I could also see it being a Demi Lovato song a la This Is Me or La La Land, but they just have to change the production a little. But honestly, I love Who Says as is, so I'm glad Selena got it, and Monte Carlo is still one of those comfort movies I watch every now and then. Whiplash, another song on When the Sun Goes Down, was co-written by Britney Spears and intended for her 2008 album Circus. The production on Whiplash is very Britney. I actually think I would have preferred this song on Britney because her voice has a higher pitch and it would have stood out more in the production. Also, she has a more whimsical, almost animated way of delivering those faster verses that's really needed to make them interesting. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate how Selena sounds. She sounds fun at some parts in the song, but it's also just hard to form an entire opinion because someone did not turn her vocals up enough on the song. And if I'm not crazy, I do feel like I can hear Britney's vocals in the end of the chorus when Selena is singing Whiplash. And it is relatively common that whoever records a reference track or a demo track, sometimes their voices are left on the studio version when another artist records it, especially within the chorus. I couldn't find a demo online, but sources that talk about Whiplash do say that Britney recorded it. So it may be possible that those are her vocals that I can hear a little bit in the chorus. With all that being said, I still do understand why Whiplash was cut from Circus. It just doesn't feel like it was needed, and genuinely, I don't think the song adds much to either artist's discography, and had Britney kept it, it probably just would have been a B-side like it is for Selena. Ciara's debut single Goodies put the 18-year-old crunk princess on the map. Ciara co-wrote Goodies, and it was meant to be the woman's response to Petey Pablo's Freak-a-Leak. Petey Pablo, of course, features on Goodies. Originally, the song was titled Cookies, and you can kind of tell from the lyric, if you're looking for the goodies, then keep looking 'cause they stay in the jar. Goodies actually almost went to Britney Spears. Ciara said around the time the song was written, she and several artists went from Arista Records to Jive, and she had brought Goodies with her. Ciara had to do a showcase and essentially re-audition to keep the song. However, she didn't know at the time that Britney was in talks to possibly get Goodies, and she found that out later. Ciara said, "I learned about the story later, but the crazy thing for me is that if I would have known about it then, I would have fought tooth and nail. It was because it's a record that I actually was a part of creating. I was heavily involved in the writing side of it as well." Goodies is a song I would have never thought Britney was considered for, but it makes sense. It has that typical Britney sensibility of towing the line between sexy and vulgar, which I think is something Ciara became known for too in her own right. I'm sure if Britney released Goodies, it would have been a hit. And for as much as I think Britney would have delivered on it, I'm obviously glad that Ciara got to keep Goodies. I love how her voice sounds with the production and how she has that sort of airy, almost whispery head voice. I'm assuming had Britney actually got Goodies, it would have been on In the Zone. So also I'm assuming that instead of Goodies, when Ciara was allowed to keep it, Britney was given I Got That Boom Boom. Though the songs don't sound similar, I think this could be possible because I Got That Boom Boom was released a little bit before Goodies, and if Jive was thinking about giving the song to Britney, they clearly wanted her to capitalize on the crunk wave a little. And it does feature the Ying Yang Twins, who are crunk artists. I Got That Boom Boom actually helped the Ying Yang Twins go mainstream, as did Get Low, which they also featured on in 2003. Get Low is Lil Jon's song, and coincidentally, Lil Jon produced Goodies. Upon its 2004 release, Goodies topped the Hot 100, which is always impressive for a debut single, and it stayed there for 7 weeks. This broke a record, giving Ciara the longest-running #1 debut single by a female artist since 1977. Sugar, Maroon 5 saccharine single-turned-wedding staple, was written and intended to be released by Mike Posner. In the early 2010s, Mike found a short spell of mainstream success with the back-to-back electropop hits Cooler Than Me, Please Don't Go, and Bow Chicka Wow Wow. He followed those up with an EP, as well as some features, and then seemingly fell off the face of the earth. In 2015, Mike returned with the single I Took a Pill in Ibiza. Though the more popular version of I Took a Pill in Ibiza is the more up-tempo remix, the original is a lot slower and more folk-inspired. The lyrics, which are about being jaded with the fast life of partying, were written after one of Mike's friends pushed him to be more truthful in his lyrics. Even in the remix version, the somber, almost mournful tone is evident. Because of how lonely and honestly depressing I Took a Pill in Ibiza is, it's interesting to think that Mike intended to release Sugar, which is a love song, before it. He decided not to release Sugar after scrapping the album that it would have been on. Mike said, Adam Levine wanted the song. He called and asked for it months before, and I said no. But when Pages wasn't going to come out and I sort of had the seedlings of this new record, I thought, well, this is just going to sit on my laptop, so I gave it to them, and when they recorded the song, Adam added his flavor to it and he wrote on it as well, lyrically and some melodic things, and he really sang it well. I'm a big fan, so I'm glad they did it. Adam made Maroon 5's version of Sugar a lot more up-tempo and disco influence compared to Mike's original version, which has a more acoustic sound. Sugar was included on Maroon 5's album 5, which contained other hit singles like Animals and Maps. Sugar was the album's third top 10 single, peaking at #2 in the Hot 100 and remaining on the charts for 42 weeks overall. And like I mentioned earlier, the song became a very popular one at weddings. This is likely partly because of the music video for Sugar, in which Maroon 5 does surprise performances at people's weddings. Honestly, I love Sugar, so of course the Maroon 5 version wins for me, and I do just like it a lot better than Mike's version, but I understand that he never made an official demo of it. I like the slight melody change that Maroon 5 did in the pre-chorus and the lyric change as well, and I also just love the more retro disco sound that it has. In 2020, Alicia Keys revealed she almost gave If I Ain't Got You, one of her biggest hits, away to Christina Aguilera. Christina had gotten in touch with Alicia to write something for her 2002 album, Strips. The way Alicia tells it, it sounds like she's been kind of procrastinating on writing a song for Christina, so then when it was time to hand one in, she just didn't have one yet. She told Stereo Gum, "So time passed and I hadn't written the song yet. And the label was like, do you have anything for Christina? And I remembered I had just recently written If I Ain't Got You." Alicia said her A&R said that she was crazy for wanting to give the song up. So instead, she wrote Impossible for Christina. Alicia went on to record If I Ain't Got You herself, including it on her 2003 sophomore album, The Diary of Alicia Keys. The song was inspired by the untimely passing of fellow R&B singer Aaliyah back in 2001. Alicia said, "I was on a plane, and I think being on the plane and knowing that she passed away after a plane crash, there was just this sentiment of being present in the moment and really like nothing else mattering but those that you love. I think that feeling was really present in my life at the time and really right in my face." Alicia said that while writing the lyrics for If I Ain't Got You wasn't too difficult, it did take a while to piece together the right production. To date, Alicia has said If I Ain't Got You is one of her favorite songs that she's written. The song peaked at #4 in the Hot 100 and also earned Alicia a Grammy, Billboard Awards, a VMA, and 2 Soul Train Awards. I mean, I can't say anything bad about the song on Alicia because I love it and it's a classic. But I obviously think Christina would have done it justice also and put the right amount of emotion into it. I'm honestly genuinely surprised that Christina hasn't covered If I Ain't Got You. At least I couldn't find a cover, but I would really love to hear it one day. In 2019, Normani released her debut solo single, Motivation. The brassy R&B influenced dance song peaked at number 33 on the Hot 100. Initially, it was intended to be the lead single from her debut album. In the choreo-heavy video, Normani pays homage to Beyoncé, who's one of her musical influences, and also celebrates her hometown. I don't know how the hell I did not know this, but Motivation was originally meant to be an Ariana Grande song. She co-wrote it with pop legends and longtime collaborators Max Martin and Ilya. The single was meant to go on either Thank You Next or Sweetener, but was later scrapped. Recently, the reference demo has surfaced online. The verses haven't been written, so Ariana is mumbling them, but the pre-chorus and chorus are the same, which you can hear her singing in the reference track. The production also sounds incomplete, and it also is a slightly slower tempo than Normani's version. Comparing the two versions, I do like how Normani's voice is a little, heavier, and it really anchors the chorus down. I don't think powerful is the right word because Ariana also has a powerful voice. But hearing Ariana sing the Motivation demo, I'm also just like, duh, how did I never clock that Ariana was involved in this song? And even thinking about the production, Ariana likes brass, a bombastic chorus, and songs that fuse pop and R&B, and then also when you read the lyrics, the writing is very, very reminiscent of Ariana. I do think I like Normani's Motivation more, but to be fair, Ariana's demo wasn't finished. I think it could have been a cute little standalone summer single for her though, maybe. I would love to hear Ari and Normani sing Motivation together one day because based on the one song they do have together, their voices really do complement one another. And I even saw down in the comments of the reference demos that I was watching that people were noting that Ariana and Normani have similar voices. If Ariana had kept Motivation, let me know if you think it would have gone on Sweetener or on Thank You Next. I think personally I'm gonna have to pick Sweetener. So The Middle is jokingly said to be, there's probably some truth to it, but it's said to be one of the most demoed songs ever. In total, the Zed-produced track was offered to 11 artists before Maren Morris, who ended up featuring on the song. Those artists are Camila Cabello, BB Rexa, Charlie XCX, Carly Rae Jepsen, Tev Lowe, Anne Marie, Bishop Briggs, Dea, Ellie Duhay, Lennon Stella, Lauren Jareggi, and Demi Lovato. The Middle was intended for Demi, but she decided instead to record Sorry Not Sorry. Next it went to Camila, who decided instead to record Havana. And then next it was offered to Anne Marie, but apparently Zed and Marshmello are enemies, and Anne Marie was working on a song with Marshmello, so that fell through. I'll be honest and say I hate this song. I like a lot of Zed songs, but this one irritates me. Regardless, I do think the demo fits several of the artists. I expected Demi to sound great on the chorus, and she does. But I agree with her in liking Sorry Not Sorry more. The BB Rexa one is decent, but this type of music is her wheelhouse now, I feel, so I was just like, okay, this sounds like a BB song. I was surprised to like part of Charlie's demo because honestly The Middle is a song that I couldn't imagine her singing. I love how she sounds on the verses, but I'm not really a fan of how she sounds on the chorus. The notes are a little bit out of Charlie's range, and you can tell that they tried to work around it by adding more to the chorus, and it just ends up sounding overproduced. And then Tev Lowe and Bishop Briggs' demo, I don't love it, I don't hate it, I don't really feel any ways about them, and I will say Tev Lowe's, the snippet is only a few seconds long, so you don't get to hear as much. Camila's demo is the only one that I'd heard prior to making this video, and I actually like it more than what became the studio version, but I obviously understand why she passed in favor of Havana. Like I mentioned, The Middle went to Maren Morris, and the choice worked out as it peaked at number 5 on the Hot 100 and went number 1 on pop radio. The song also introduced Maren to pop audiences, as she's mostly known for country, though she does blend other genres in with her music. Like I said, I don't like this song, but I think my favorite versions are Demi and Camila's, even though I agree that they passed on The Middle for better songs. I think Demi's version is my favorite by just a bit, but this makes sense because she's who was in mind in the beginning. I'm honestly surprised that Zara Larsson, of all people, did not get offered The Middle because I could have seen it being a hit for her as well. Speaking of Zara Larsson, I was surprised to find out that one of her demos actually ended up becoming a Twice song. What became Twice's title track More and More was initially a Zara Larsson demo called Back and Forth. She wrote and composed her version with Julia Michaels, Justin Tranter, and Emi Nikke. When Back and Forth was given to Twice, the lyrics were changed to Korean lyrics by Park Jin Young, who owns Twice's entertainment company JYP. Soloist BB also has a writing credit on More and More for the Korean lyrics. To me, the production sounds mostly the same between the two. It just sounds more polished on Twice's version, of course, because it was a studio release. Based on the English translation of those lyrics in Zara's own, it seems like Twice kept the theme of the song pretty much the same, but took a lot of the relationship struggles and conflict out of it. Like, it's still a love song, but it's a little bit more sanitized. Twice released their own English version of More and More, but the lyrics are different from Back and Forth. A few are the same though, and Zara does still have a writing credit on the song. And then, of course, in Twice's version, a rap verse is also added into More and More. I'm not sure if Zara ever intended to keep Back and Forth. Some sources say the song was meant for one of her albums, but then scrapped and given away. Others say she never intended to keep it, which is why it was sold to JYP. When Twice put out More and More in the summer of 2020, Zara tweeted in excitement in support of the song saying, "I'm so proud to be part of Twice's lead single More and More, and that's on what? That's on the song being a smash." I do like Twice's version more. Like I said, it sounds more complete because it's a studio version, and I'm just way more familiar with that version. But the song does sound very Zara Larsson and Eminike. I feel like if we got a Paul studio version from them, it would have been a hit, but I will say maybe not in 2020, which is when Twice put it out, but maybe in that 2015-2017 timeframe. But now that I know that Zara recorded a demo, I really do want an official studio Zara Larsson version because, like I said, I do like this song. Also, justice for More and More, because a lot of people actually don't like the Twice version of this song. And I get it. I know that they're like, the voices sound kind of high-pitched and annoying. It doesn't sound very unique to them. And that criticism makes sense now that I found out the song wasn't meant for them, so I understand it. But for me personally, the only issue I have with this era was the styling, and these shoes just haunt me because they look so cheap and throw off a lot of their outfits. In 2017, Red Velvet released Red Flavor, the title track from Red Summer, their first special EP. Red Flavor is synth and percussion heavy and euphoric and bright, which is just perfect for a summer release. Both the lyrics and music video are fruit themed, and the lyrics shows a comparison between summer love and the sweetness of fruit. Red Flavor is one of Red Velvet's most popular songs, both domestically and internationally. It went number 1 in the Gaon Digital Sales Chart and won Best Pop Song at the 2019 Korean Music Awards. GQ Korea named Red Flavor their Song of the Year, and Billboard has ranked it as the second best K-pop song of the entire 2010s. Originally, Red Flavor was meant for English girl group Little Mix. This is one that when I found out, it just made complete perfect sense to me. The production on Red Flavor to me sounds just like Little Mix, and it reminds me a lot of Wings, which is their debut single and a song that I personally love. It's similar in the melody and in the percussion, and it makes you imagine a live band sort of playing while you're listening to the song. Red Flavor was written and produced by Swedish duo Caesar and Louis. The pair have also created other K-pop hits such as ITZY's Icy and Jinsoul's Singing in the Rain. Originally, when Red Flavor was still meant for Little Mix, it was actually called Dancing with Nobody. When SM acquired the song, one of their writers, Kim Young-jung, wrote the Korean lyrics, and I'm assuming this is when the theme was changed from Dancing with Nobody to Red Flavor. Caesar and Louis didn't say when they initially wrote Dancing with Nobody, and since they were asked to write it for Little Mix, this could have been as early as around 2012, but I'm not completely sure. In general, I do think Little Mix and Red Velvet have a similar sound. For example, I could imagine Red Velvet singing something like Salute, and then vice versa, I could imagine Little Mix singing something like Beg For Me, which is a more recent song of Red Velvet's, or even an earlier track like Dum Dum. Aside from having a similar sound, I feel like I could envision each respective group covering the other songs because they were two of the biggest vocal-focused girl groups at the time. Both Beg For Me and Dum Dum sort of remind me of Little Mix's earlier sound, or I guess what people would stereotype or generalize the Little Mix sound to be. But in regards to Red Flavor, Little Mix would have done their version justice for sure, and Red Velvet obviously made Red Flavor a classic. One song I absolutely can't, in any stretch of the imagination, imagine Little Mix singing is Mafia in the Morning. Officially, it's an ITZY song released in 2019. It has a sort of heisty vibe to it, centered around a story of a girl stealing a boy's heart, but knowing she's going to keep her feelings hidden. The song is loosely based on the game Mafia, and apparently it's also one of ITZY's most disliked title tracks, but I know low-key it did show up in my Spotify Wrapped. For me, the production is the winner on the song. It's very sleek and bouncing, and I love when songs go all out on the chorus and then pull back in on the verses. I also love the sort of talk singing the girls do on the song because it sounds almost teasing and it fits with that I stole your heart, we're playing a game sort of theme. Also, I have to admit I love the choreo, which for me, even if I already love a song, if I like the choreo, it's just going to make me like the song more. All that being said, though, I did think it was a joke when people online were saying that Mafia in the Morning had been pitched to Little Mix, but it is not. One half of the songwriting and producing group Lyra Music revealed this information in a TikTok. They actually write several K-pop songs or pop songs that do end up going to K-pop idols. Mafia in the Morning was also pitched to Hyo and Blackpink, and while I really can't see it for them either, they both make more sense than Little Mix. I think if I had to pick a group for the song to go to, it would be Blackpink just because it's more fitting with their production, but still, I don't know if they would have ever done something like Mafia in the Morning. But like I said, regardless, out of all four of these options, Little Mix does make the least sense to me. Possibly I could see it for them if the production was different, but I just really still don't see it fitting with their style. And I do doubt the production would have been different since Lyra Music also produced Mafia in the Morning. And also, to be fair, I know that I don't know Little Mix's whole entire discography, so I'd be eager to know if any of you guys think any different or are aware of any Little Mix songs that give you that sort of Mafia in the Morning vibe. But this is one that I just never would have thought. So this last one is more of a rumor, a conspiracy, if you will, or just unconfirmed, but I do personally believe it. So Girls is the title track from aespa's 2022 EP. The song is bold with blaring production, and within it, aespa again reminds you that they're not the girls to be messed with. Like I've said before, it's not one of my favorite aespa songs. To me, it's just okay. But I do love the video more than anything because it's very visually pleasing. So the word on the street is that Girls was initially made for NCT 127, which is one of SM's boy groups. The first piece of evidence is that the song was said to originally have been titled Weed and Boys, which of course wouldn't be the case if the song had been written for a girl group. The second piece of evidence for this is that SM Entertainment does switch up a lot of songs between their groups, but that's not necessarily an anomaly with companies or labels or within the music industry at all. Another reason that people believe this, which is the one that sold me, is because the structure of the verses is more similar to an NCT 127 song than an aespa song. And at first I didn't realize it, but there was something off about the song that I couldn't really put my finger on. Like, I felt weird and it almost felt like sort of a reach saying that Girls didn't fit aespa, but now I realize the melody and the way that the girls delivered the lyrics feels a lot more stilted compared to their other songs, whereas in those songs the lyrics have a more continuous flow between the verses. I do think, with that being said, that they're performing Girls how it was intended to be performed though. Others believe that Girls was meant for NCT because it was written and co-produced by Yoo Young-jin, who wrote and produced several NCT songs. He has, however, worked on other songs for aespa and worked with several other SM artists and not with NCT or NCT 127 exclusively. It could also be the case that Yoo Young-jin just wrote what ended up being Girls with NCT 127 in mind, or with a boy group initially in mind, but the song was just written to give to SM Entertainment to eventually give to some group, but it wasn't attached to any specific group at its inception. But since it's unconfirmed that Girls was meant for NCT 127 or meant for another SM group, there is no demos to compare, but I genuinely just don't believe that Girls was meant to be an aespa song first. It just doesn't sound like it to me, and like I said, the original title is said to have been different, but let me know whether you think there's any truth to that or if it's just a rumor or a reach. As always, make sure you let me know your thoughts and opinions on the songs in the video, and do you think the right person, aka the official person who got the song, do you like it on them? Would you have preferred it on someone else? And remember, this is the third part of this little series. I guess we can call it a series now because I'll probably definitely do more. So a lot of the Kesha, a lot of the Britneys, a lot of the Beyonce ones are in the first two parts of the videos. Not all of them, but a good bit of them. So do keep that in mind if you are recommending other songs. But if you do have some, of course, leave them down below because a lot of you guys have told me ones that I didn't even know and didn't even find on the internet. So I do appreciate that. As always, thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stick around for more. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter. That way you can keep up with me there. And if you'd like to become a channel member, the link is in the video's description. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and we'll see you so very soon. Bye-bye.